Nintendo is complicated. Now, I do want to preface this by saying that, like, I'm not trying to shit talk Nintendo or like downplay Nintendo or the people who, mainly play Nintendo type games. It's just that Nintendo is complicated to me, and like, I don't know if I'm at the point of I've grown out of Nintendo games or if Nintendo games just aren't fun in general. Like, I'm trying to figure out whether I'm the problem or if Nintendo's the problem, and I kind of just want to talk about that with y'all today.
Now a word from our sponsor.
Hey, yo, yeah, you.
And that's right, your favorite YouTuber has partnered with W. If you've been looking for an energy drink to use on those long 3 a.m. morning sessions of Overwatch where you're getting your ass kicked by a Reaper that keep flanking you, then W is the perfect thing. It's sugar-free, caffeine-free, all that good stuff, and it would be a great way to support me and the channel. You get 10% off of all your W purchases, whether it be shakers, a powder, or anything like that. And like I said, it's a great way to support me at the channel. You get 10% off from all your purchases. And make sure to use the code Mickey22 when you do purchase things from the link in the description. And I'll put that link in the description of all my videos. But make sure you do use the code Mickey22, all lowercase, no spaces, to support me and the channel. I appreciate it. But like I said in the beginning of this video, Nintendo is complicated to me. But like, Nintendo does a lot, but I just feel like, at least for me, and I can only speak for me and my experience with Nintendo in the past couple of years, they haven't done enough for me. And I feel like Nintendo could do a lot more. Like, I feel like Nintendo could genuinely do a lot more with what they have and the game series that they have. Now, personally, I can only speak from like what I've seen from games like, Legend of Zelda and, Fire Emblem, because I haven't played any of those games. But like, from what I've seen, even with how good those games are, I feel like they could be like a lot better, and especially with the Pokemon games. And just to kind of like stay on the Pokemon games, like I've only played one. I've only played two technically. I played Sword and Shield, and to be honest with you, I got bored. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, like I barely made it halfway through Pokemon Sword and Shield. Because don't get me wrong, like the base thing of like catching a Pokemon and everything like that was fun, but like the game itself just wasn't for me. I feel like the game itself just was like, like it was kind of mad to me. And it's like the thing that I'm saying is like Nintendo could do a lot more with stuff like Pokemon. Like the way that Pokemon is, it's basically been the same the entire time. It's just that now, we're not sprites, we're 3D models and everything like that. But it's like every time I look at the Pokemon games, like in my mind, with all the money that Nintendo makes from Pokemon, there is no reason why Pokemon isn't like the most cinematic game to ever come out, like in all of gaming basically. Because it's still weird as fuck to me that Pokemon doesn't have voice acting in it. It doesn't have like, cinematic cutscenes. It has like more like, in-game cutscenes and things like that. And every cutscene is text boxes and shit. Like, I don't understand how we're now in 2024 and the Pokemon games aren't, the best cinematic games to come out from everything. Like, absolutely everything. Because if you compare a game like Pokemon to something like God of War, and I know that might be a bit of a stretch, but it's like, imagine if in God of War you only had text box, like there was no voice acting, no cinematic cutscenes, no nothing, just straight text boxes. You would be like, hey, what the fuck is this? But with Pokemon, it's like we've gotten so used to Pokemon being the exact same thing every single game that the only real upgrade that Nintendo has made to the Pokemon games has made them, semi-open world and, giving you 3D models instead of the sprite character models that they had for like 15 years or something like that. And it just seems like Nintendo is complacent with that being how the Pokemon games are. And it's just like none of that appeals to me anymore. And it's like, the way that I feel is that like, it doesn't appeal to me for one. And it's like, I can't really see how people enjoy that. If you play it for more of the competitive Pokemon battle aspect, then yeah, I can see that. But it's just like, I feel like so much could be done with the Pokemon games, and so much could be done with Nintendo games in general. And I understand that Nintendo has their own style and their own, original things that they like to do with their games. But when it comes down to a game like Pokemon or even something like the Super Mario games, it just kind of feels like a reskin a lot of the times for me. Like whenever I watch a Nintendo Direct, nothing like jumps out to me. Nothing jumps out to me and be like, oh, like I need to play it or I need to get that game. nothing has popped out to me for Nintendo for years, to be honest with you. And I grew up playing Nintendo games. I grew up playing the GameCube. I grew up playing the GameCube, the N64, the Nintendo DS. I think I still have my DS somewhere around here. But like, I grew up playing the Wii and stuff like that. But after the Wii, that's when I feel like this sort of, like drop off with Nintendo kind of started to happen. Because for a while, Nintendo was only making DSs and 3DSs and 3DS XL and shit like that. Like, there was no like home console for Nintendo to kind of like, try different things or like, make different games that, would need, a home console's power to run or shit like that. It was just straight Nintendo DS and 3DS. And I feel like that's when they kind of got complacent with it, because they basically made like mobile games for like a good 5+ years, and they hadn't made a home console in forever. And then when the Wii U came out, it kind of wasn't it at all. Like, it flopped. And like, they've been on this trend of like making a home console that's portable, and it's like Nintendo hasn't made a true home console since the Wii. And I feel like because they're kind of like keeping it in the same realm as the Nintendo DS and 3DS, that like we're gonna get those type of games. We're gonna get those games that you just play on a road trip, or those games that like you play while you're at like an airport, and not like games where like you want to like sit down and like really immerse yourself in the world of that game and shit like that. And essentially, it seems like Nintendo has lost like whatever urge that they have to like experiment and make like new games, sort of. Because we've all seen like, how Sony and Microsoft, like they make new game series, they try shit out. But with Nintendo, it's just kind of like the same old. Like, we'll get a Mario game every couple of years, we'll get a Pokemon game every couple of years, new Legend of Zelda, and then maybe a Fire Emblem game. And that's really it. Like, Nintendo hasn't really tried to make like a new franchise in forever. And like, I feel like that complacency is only really holding them back, because with the amount of brain power that I feel like they have at Nintendo, there has to be some plans for like, a different type of game. And I'm not saying like a competitive multiplayer game or nothing like that. Just a new franchise and just a new IP in general would kind of like, I feel like, give more of a spark to Nintendo. Because whenever a Nintendo Direct comes out, we all kind of know what to expect. It's either gonna be Mario related, Zelda related, or maybe Animal Crossing related. But that's really about it. There is no like real surprise like it is with other like companies when they announce games and shit like that. There's no like, oh, like I wonder what type of game they're gonna make next, or what kind of game they're gonna make next. Are they gonna make an RPG, or are they gonna make this, or are they gonna make that? With Nintendo, we know what we're getting. And that's not a bad thing. And I'm not saying that that's, the worst thing that Nintendo has done or whatever. But I just feel like Nintendo could do a lot more. And I just feel like they've kind of gotten complacent with it. Nintendo got complacent with making, a Mario Kart game every couple of years and a Smash Bros. Game every couple of years. And they've gotten complacent to the point to where like they're not gonna make anything new, because people buy everything that they make already in droves. Like, millions of people buy Mario Kart and Smash Brothers and shit like that, so they don't have to make anything new. They just keep making games for the people who are gonna buy the next Super Mario game, or buy the next Pikmin game and Animal Crossing game. Those are the people that they make games for. They don't make games for any other audience, to be honest. And speaking of Smash Brothers, Nintendo doesn't even really like its Smash Brothers audience. And I know y'all might have heard it, y'all might not have heard it, but late last year, Nintendo fucked with the competitive Smash Bros. Community again, basically trying to kill off like whatever is left of the competitive Smash scene by saying that they're going to implement a lot of new policies and shit like that. Basically saying that you can't like earn money from tournaments and stuff like that. It's a lot of documents. I'm pretty sure they're on Google or something like that. But the basics of it is Nintendo wants their games to be fun. They want their games to be fun party games for the family to enjoy and shit like that. And the Smash community, in the competitive Smash community, is a community that they have never liked. They've never liked the fact that a community of people are playing their game competitively. They like that people are still playing their games, just not competitively and making it an esport. even though it's been around for 20 years at this point. But Nintendo just doesn't make games for that audience. They don't make games for those types of people. They make casual games. Even though some people might enjoy their games beyond a casual level, they don't want it to be played beyond a casual level, because games like Smash Brothers and even Splatoon could kind of have like a little presence in esports, but Nintendo doesn't want that shit. They've been trying to shut down Smash tournaments for years now, probably a decade at this point. And it's just funny to me with Nintendo, because it's like one of your biggest communities have been keeping your game alive for decades at this point. You don't care about them, but it's like when people just buy your game, play it for a little bit, and cut it off after like maybe a year, you keep making games for those people. And it's like, I feel like Nintendo is furthermore just trying to push out like those last few like people who enjoy their games just beyond a casual level and on more of a competitive level, mainly with the Smash community. Because with the Smash community now, it's still thriving, it's still there. But with these policies, whenever they actually implement them, if they haven't implemented already, it might be like one of the final nails in the coffin for Smash. With Ultimate probably being the last Smash game that we ever get, these policies will probably just be the last nail in the coffin that the competitive Smash community needs, because you can only play, 2 fighting games for so long before you just get bored of them and everybody kind of moves on. Like, it's only so long that people can play Ultimate. It's only so long that people can play Melee. And it's like, I feel like Nintendo kind of knew this, and they made Smash Brothers Ultimate the final Smash Ultimate game. Because, like, you can't really top Smash Ultimate if you're Nintendo, especially, like, mainly roster-wise. Like, the roster can't really get any better outside of adding, people's, random favorites to the game. Like, Goku or Master Chief or whoever you want to add to that game. So they can't really top that. So they're just not going to make another one. And they're just going to keep making Super Mario games and Mario Kart games and Kirby games and shit like that. And they're fine with that. Like, they're fine with that being their legacy in gaming. They're fine with being the casual, they're fine, not necessarily casual, but like the cozy games company. They're fine with being that. And like I said before, and like I said a bunch of times in this video, that's okay. I just would want more. As a person who's grown up playing Nintendo games, I have probably 5 games on my Switch. And it's probably gonna stay like that, because none of the games that Nintendo releases really pique my interest like at all. It doesn't seem like they're gonna change their formula of the games that they release ever. Like, it seems like this is like Kirby, Super Mario, Mario Party, Mario Kart, Metroid, maybe Legend of Zelda, Fire Emblem. Those are the games that they're gonna focus on. Those are the types of games that they're gonna release. Those are the types of games that they want people to play. Those are the style of games that they've been releasing for a while now, and it seems like they're not planning on stopping like anytime soon. It seems like this is what Nintendo is complacent with being, and that's fine. If that's the company that they want to be, then that's fine. It just disappoints me slightly because I wish that they would innovate a little bit more. I wish that they would try different games or different IPs, or make a completely new Nintendo character. Just try out of the box stuff. Like, maybe, make a RPG or action RPG that isn't Fire Emblem. Make something, you know what I'm saying? And I just feel like they're kind of just really complacent with that. It bothers me, but it doesn't bother them. So it's not really, so I'm kind of just like talking to y'all, because like, if Nintendo really wanted to, do the type of stuff, then they would, but they don't. And I'm basically saying all this to say that, like, I wish Nintendo would innovate. I wish they would innovate, not innovate with the same type of games that they've been innovating in, just innovate in general. Like, make a new character, make a new IP, make something that like would captivate more than just one audience. Because you don't have to just cater to one audience. You can cater to a lot of audiences and still have your main core of, we make, casual, cozy type games. You can still have that core, but I just wish that they would innovate a little bit more and try to think out and try to make games outside of their normal box, because I feel like it would only benefit Nintendo from doing that. We've seen how it benefits Sony, we've seen how it benefits Microsoft, we've seen how it benefits every other game console. But if this is what Nintendo wants to do, and I'm just some dude talking to his microphone for 20 minutes for nothing, I just kind of wanted to get this out because I've been thinking about this for a while, and it kind of irks me because like I want to like Nintendo games more, but none of them catch my eye at all. It's kind of the same way with me and Sonic games. Like it's just like at this point, like, you know, I'll watch the trailer, I might try like a demo or something like that. Maybe like if somebody gives me the game, then I'll play it. But at this point, Nintendo kind of bores me.